Embroidery Happy Hour. I'm Jeanette, your host, and hope everybody is doing great. So I have Mello over here in the background as always. He likes to hang out in my sewing room. And I just want to say I am back. Okay, I know that I have been kind of missing in action for a little bit because, I took a trip to Florida and then I went to New York. And yeah, so now I am back full time and that's it. I am done. I got to get to work and I got to handle my business, right? So anyway, hope everybody is doing good. Couple of announcements before we get into tonight's topic, okay? I have 3 announcements that I want to make. The first one is I want to let everybody know, if you guys have been watching my sister Nancy in Gifts HQ, she always mentions, and I want to mention it as well, that I will be, along with my sister and my mom, we're going to be going to the Original Sewing and Quilt Expo. That's going to be in Fredericksburg, Virginia. It is scheduled to be September 25th, 26th, 27th. Me and my sister are going to be attending on the 26th and on the 27th. On the evening of the 26th, which is going to fall on a Friday, we're planning on having a dinner. So if you guys are in the area, within the Northern Virginia area, please reach out because we would love to meet up with everybody and, just have dinner and stuff. That would be like so awesome. I know the crafty Puerto Rican is also going to be there as well. So you'll be able to meet her as well. So just reach out. You can reach out to my sister at Gifts HQ, or you can reach out to me. What we're planning on doing is on Friday, we will, Friday or Thursday, we will post an area at the Sewing and Quilt Show where everybody can meet. So what we're probably going to do is we're going to say, look for a quilt. And we'll probably take a picture of a quilt that we both really love out in the facility. And then we'll pick a time for everyone to meet. That way, once everybody is together, we can go and just have dinner. So that is the first one. I just wanted to make sure you guys know about this. The other thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that I have been actually working hard on the background. I am designing a brand new sewing room, and I'm actually trying to rush it because I would love to have it completed when my sister arrives, because she is really heavy into the sewing and the quilting. So I have purchased some new furniture for the sewing room, and I am in the process of everything's getting delivered. There were a couple of mishaps and stuff, but nothing, like that, it's fixable. So I am working with the company. I'm waiting for some replacement parts, and then I'm going to have it put together. I will also make a video of some of the furniture that I purchased, just in case some of you guys are interested in it. I will tell you, it is not inexpensive at all. They're pretty pricey, but I really do like the way it is coming together. So pretty excited about that. I am going to be filming the whole process, and I'll even do a video on the sewing table, but I'm thinking about doing the video when my sister arrives, because I would love to not only give you guys my thoughts on the sewing table and cabinets and furniture that I got, but I would like to get her perspective as well, because she is really the sewer and the quilter in the family. I'm just really the embroiderer, and my mom is the crocheter. So, but I really am interested to find out what Nancy thinks about the new setup that I have and get her opinion on it as well. So for you guys that, that for last Friday, I went to New York City, visited my cousin, and I wanted to share with you guys also a play that I did. So if any of you guys are in New York, highly recommend you guys see it. It was the Michael Jackson musical, and it's at the Neil Simon Theater, and it was really, really good. I'm telling you, I thought Michael Jackson was still alive. I was like, where is the man? Is Janet gonna pop out? I was like, oh, this is like so cool. They did all the songs. Well, not all of them, but the real big hits. The dance was on point. I mean, it was fabulous. It was nothing like, it's not that I want to say nothing bad, but you know how it is when, kids have recitals and everything, everybody's off cue and all that kind of stuff. You're like, oh, okay, they're cute. No, they were good. They were really, really good. Really worth the visit and stuff like that. Now, the big announcement that I have for you guys is today I went to Susie's Quilt Shop that's located in Manassas, Virginia. We actually finalized everything, and we're going to be starting an embroidery club there on in her quilt shop. It is the first session will be August 16th, and it is going to start at 10:30 in the morning. If you guys are in the area, you guys are interested in joining an embroidery club, I will be hosting these embroidery club meetings at Susie's Quilt Shop in Manassas, by Sudley Road. You can Google her, Susie's Quilt Shop, Manassas, Virginia. You'll be able to get her address. We plan on doing this the third Saturday of every month. The first Saturday, which is going to be on the 16th of August, it's going to be more of an introductory. It's going to be about me, and also doing a little show and tell of some of the things that I have done, some of my work, getting to know the members, and to see what it is that they want to get out of the club. Because one of the things that I really love doing is, you guys know that have watched me for quite some time, I like to share knowledge. I like to help people work on projects and really succeed. And, I really like helping people. So one of the things that I want to do is I want to work with Susie to see if we can form an embroidery club where we can all discuss machine embroidery and talk about different types of methods of doing different types of things of machine embroidery. Maybe they will help me to really get into hoop projects, right? Because you guys know I'm always scared of them. So, but pretty excited about that. I really am super, super excited. I kind of feel like I have like a mini job, okay? Because I'm newly retired, so I'm still getting adjusted to the retirement life. So I'm trying to get back on schedule because I really do like that routine. So now I have every third Saturday of every month that we're going to be at Susie's Quilt Shop and stuff. So I am pretty super excited about that. Okay, so if you guys are in the Washington, D.C. area and you guys want to join an embroidery club, Susie's Quilt Shop in Manassas, Virginia is the place to be. Okay. So anyway, and if you have any questions and stuff, you can reach out to Susie or you can reach out to me as well. I'm sure if you go to her website, you'll be able to get her email address, etc. Or you can ask me as well too, and we'll be happy to help you, to tell you more about the club and everything. So what are we going to be talking about tonight? Okay. I want to talk to you guys about the top 10 machine embroidery tips for beginners. Okay. One of the things, and the reason why I want to do this, just to backtrack a little bit, I want to do this because there have been times when I have a subscriber reach out to me or someone locally that wants to get into embroidery, and then they just shy away from it for several reasons. Okay. They look at the machine, and that's one of the things that I was talking with Susie about today, was that I told her I meet so many people that have the intention of going and want to do embroidery, because I think it's such a beautiful, beautiful craft, that people, what they do is they buy the machines, they buy the stuff, then they get the box and they'll open the box. They see this machine, they put it on the table and they stare at it. And I'm like, it's not paperweight. Okay, guys, come on now. You bought it. You want this. Use it. Turn the sucker on. But all of a sudden, they have this overwhelming fear that comes across, that they're afraid of touching the machine. They don't want to break it. They don't know how to use it. They don't take out the instructions. They just have this fear, right? And I want to talk to you guys about that, okay? I want to talk about the top 10 because, it's so important, and I really feel that if folks focus on these top 10, they will build the confidence that they need to go ahead and turn those machines on, okay? Those machines are fabulous. There's so much you can do with them. But the one thing that's really going to hamper you if you hold on to that fear and you don't turn that sucker on. So let's talk about it, okay? So I have the 10 right here. All right, now the first tip that I have for you guys is you have to start simple and you got to build your confidence, all right? I'm going to tell you guys right now, if anybody told you, okay, I'm going to tell you right now, if anyone has told you they ever bought a sewing machine, an embroidery machine, whatever kind of machine, turn that sucker on, and they never made a mistake. They're lying. They're lying to you. Trust me. They don't know what they're saying. Okay. Or they know what they're saying. They just don't want to tell you the truth. You are going to have to just buckle up, turn that machine on, and go. But the thing is, you don't want to start with something complicated. You want to start with something simple. So I do have a video on my YouTube channel where I talk about the first project on your SC1900. You don't have to have an SC1900 in order for you to do this project, okay? Hold on, I'm turning off the fan because it's blowing everything away from me. You don't have to have that machine, but the thing is, pick a simple design, okay? Something real simple. Just get a pack of fabric or old shirts. Go to the thrift shop, pick up some shirts for like $2 or something like that. Pick up tearaway stabilizer and cutaway stabilizer. Get a pack of those two. Those to me are usually the best two stabilizers to start with. And as you get more advanced, that's when you're going to start learning about the no-show mesh, the sticky stabilizer, and all that other stuff, okay? But what ends up happening is if you just jump in and you get a complicated design, and you start looking at all these stabilizers and make it all complicated, your confidence is not going to build. Start small, start simple, and then just start progressing from there. Because if you don't do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to become frustrated. You're going to come out and say it's not coming out right. I don't understand. It's skipping stitches, or the machine, the design doesn't look good, and all that kind of stuff. So just go out, buy a simple design, and best yet, your embroidery machine should already come with designs built in them. So don't spend any money. Use the designs that are in the machine. I'm gonna start sweating. I gotta turn this sucker on. Hold on. So let me just lower it a little bit. There you go. There you go. Sorry about that. I have a fan right next to me trying to blow some wind over here. I have a lot of lights on me. So, okay. So start small, start simple, and start building your confidence. As you start to create better, start getting better, then you start moving on to different fabrics, start, getting more complex designs and stuff, get into the appliques and all that stuff, but build it. And when you make a mistake, I'm going to tell you right now, when you make a mistake, I know it's frustrating. I know it pisses you off, pisses me off too, but learn from it. Try to find out what happened. Why did that happen? Because that's what's going to get you to a better place. By just throwing it out and quitting and getting frustrated, you're not going to get better, okay? Remember, the people that are at the top for a reason. It's because they didn't quit and they kept at it. You have to do the same with embroidery. Embroidery is a skill set. It truly is. A lot of times people think that it's just turn on the machine and walk away. No, it is not that. You have to know all the basics, and then you sometimes have to know a little more. So start small and then you build. And before you know it, your confidence is going to grow, and so is your skill set, okay? Also, the second tip that I have to tell you about is your stabilizer is just as important as your thread, okay? Don't go out and skip on your stabilizer. Know the type of stabilizer that you're purchasing. Know why you're purchasing it. Know why you're using it. If you have a design that is very dense, okay, try it with one sheet of stabilizer. If you start seeing that you have puckering going on or something like that, then maybe you need to double up on your stabilizer. That's how you're going to learn about stabilizer and the importance of it. A lot of times people think you don't even need it. I have even seen people take a piece of cloth, hoop the cloth, and just embroider on it. And then it comes out really bad, okay? It comes out all puckery. The design isn't even even. You could tell that it's scattered. The fabric misaligns. And then they're like, what happened? Well, what happened was you didn't stable the fabric. I mean, you got to remember, everything has a purpose. You don't, trust me. I know people, want to save money. I want to save money too. Believe me, if I could skip on stabilizer, I would, okay? But there's a purpose for it. Everything has a purpose and a need. So you got to make sure you understand it, all right? When you're starting with the stabilizer, it can get crazy, okay? It really can, because there's so many. There's a lot of brands, there's different weights, there's different colors. Usually it's more of the black and the white. Sometimes you can find stabilizer in the color beige. You're not going to find them in crazy colors like red, blue, yellow, and all that kind of stuff. But those are usually the three. And the most that I've ever seen is white and black. I have seen some stabilizer like a nude color, but you don't really see that too often. But the different types of stabilizers, plenty of them. Okay, you have the no-show, the sticky, you got tearaway, cutaway, you have the different weights of stabilizer. Okay, then you have the different brands of stabilizer. So you have to make sure that you know what you're buying, why you're buying it, and how you're going to use it. Okay, so make sure you know those three. And if you don't know those three, I'm going to give you a tip. Google it, okay? Google, nothing wrong with it, okay? We are now at a world of technology, okay? If you don't know the answer to something, like what needle should I use? What stabilizer should I use? What speed should I run my machine at? Google, just Google it, ask the questions, do your research and stuff. And you know what? Better yet, take a piece of fabric, scrap fabric, try it. That to me, I like to do better than Googling, okay? Because that's how you learn from experience. Hands-on experience is really like awesome, okay? Because that is like when you see it yourself, okay, as to why something is happening. So make sure that, stabilizer, you learn about it, use it. Don't get in the habit of not using it, because let me tell you, you don't want to start bad habits, because then they're hard to break, and before you know it, you're a mess. Okay, you don't want to deal with that. Okay, the third thing that I want to tell you guys, the machine doesn't do everything. Okay, you still have to guide it. All right, like I said, it's not push the button and walk away. You may have a lot of machines, okay, and you think the machine is doing this magic, and you could just go shopping, come back, and you think it's going to be done. You have no idea how many times I have stitched something, walked away, okay, and actually like walked away, took Mello for a walk, and I'm over here thinking the machine is doing great. Then when me and Mello come back, I look at the machine and it was stopped. It was stopped because I had a thread break, okay, or a bird's nest happened. It's not something that you should really walk away from. So I kind of learned the hard way myself that when I am working on my embroidery machines, I have to make sure that I hoop my items correctly, I stabilize it correctly, hoop it correctly, put it in the machine correctly. When I hit that go button, I stand there. I actually watch it. Okay, I watch it do its magic. Now, when I see that it's going okay, I'll walk away, but I don't walk far. I'm usually sitting right where I'm at right now, and you can see my machines are right here. And you can always tell when something went wrong. Okay, you could hear it. When you embroider for a long time, you get to know your babies. Okay, you know what that common sound should sound like. And I could tell when I hear a stitching, when it has skipped and it's going to like have a thread break or something like that, and I automatically get up because I already know it's going to have a thread break and I have to like fix it. Maybe I have to rethread the machine. Maybe I ran out of bobbin and stuff like that. So you never want to walk away, especially in the beginning. Okay, especially in the beginning, you really do want to watch the machine perform all the work. You want to get to know your machine, okay? Because the machine does all the work, but you're the one that has to guide it. Another thing that sometimes people don't realize is when you're running your machines and you're doing embroidery, sometimes people say, oh, my machine is so good, it could go 1,300 stitches per minute or 1,500 stitches per minute, 5,000 stitches per minute. So I'm going to put it to the max, turn it on, and walk away, right? And then they come back, they got a mess. And I'm going to tell you why. Because not every design should be stitched out at the max machine speed. Not all of it, okay? I have had designs where I have to program some of the needles to stitch at 500 stitches per minute to go slow because of the details. An example of that, okay, would be small fonts. Never, ever embroider small fonts real at the top speed. I don't do it. Can you do it? Can it be done? It can. I don't recommend it because the thing is, I like my fonts to be readable. You don't want the fonts to look all squishy and stuff, and people are looking at it going, let me see, what does that say? You don't want that, okay? You want it to look clean, crisp, okay? You want it to be totally readable, all right? So the way I make sure that happens is when it comes to that portion of the design, I slow the machine down. Now, there are some areas of a design where I know I can run it to 1,000 stitches per minute and it's going to be fine. And then there are other areas in the design that you have to slow it down. But I'm talking about real complex designs, okay? Because I do a lot of logos for small businesses and companies. So when they bring me their logos and I have them digitized, I already know what areas in the design can be stitched out at a high speed and what needs to be slowed down. So, you got to make sure that you get to learn your machine, learn how it stitches, and then look at the machine that the design that you're working at, and then you'll know exactly where it is that you need to adjust the speed. Okay. So, and that's going to come with experience, guys. That's not something that you can just open and somebody can teach you. That's something that you learn as you start to do more and more embroidery. That's why I tell people it's a skill. Okay. So a lot of times people think it's something that, you don't have to learn. You do have to learn. You got to learn digitizing. You don't have to learn exactly how to digitize. I'm not a digitizer, but I do know enough that I know how to work with a digitizer so I can make a design work, okay? So you want to know at least the basics, okay? The other thing, this is the fourth one. Use the right needle, and you got to change it often. A lot of times, especially the new folks, will buy a pack of 10 needles, okay? And then they will put a needle in their machine, and then a year later, that same needle is in the machine. But then towards the end, they're after like a month or two, they are complaining because they're saying that their machine is not stitching out nicely, not like when they first bought it. Well, of course not, because your needle is dull. Okay. Needles get dull. Think about it. You have a needle and it has a point. That point is going up and down. It's not just going through fabric, it's also going through stabilizer. And sometimes it's not just different types of fabric that you use. Like you can embroider on vinyl, you can embroider on leather, you can embroider on jeans, you can embroider on knit shirts, on cotton. That's, there's a lot that you're doing, because what that's doing is going up and down, it's hitting, okay? And it can only do so much. So you should be changing those needles every 8 hours. There are so many people out there that for some reason they just refuse to do it. They refuse to do it. And then what happens is they go and they embroider something. When they embroider it, they don't like the way it looks because the thread is now looking frazzled. Okay. It looks like it's fraying. There's a lot of lint and all that kind of stuff. First of all, it's not good. It's not going to look nice. I change my needles very often. Sometimes I think I change them more than I should. Okay. But I prefer to do that, especially when I'm starting on new orders. Okay. If I have a customer that comes in and I have to do their embroidery order, I always start a new order with fresh needles because that is going to guarantee me that the items are going to really come out looking fresh and nice. Okay. I don't want the thread looking all rattly or anything like that. I need it to look solid. And I do this for business. So I always say that whatever leaves this shop represents me. Okay. I cannot have any type of embroidery leaving this business looking all shabby, because then what's going to happen is people talk. People talk, okay? And your business can go downhill. So it's kind of funny too, because me and Susie were also having a conversation about that today. How you can do 100 things right, and very little people will say anything. But the moment you have one little hiccup or one mistake, you're toast. Okay? Because thousands of people are going to know about you, because they are going to talk about you like there's no end. And it's sad, but it's a reality, right? So you want to make sure that when you are embroidering, that you are using fresh needles. Now, you also want to make sure you're using the right needle. A lot of times people don't know about that. A lot of times people say there's only one size, which is really the common one, which is the 7511 size needle. But I say no. There are two that I basically use. I use the 7511 needle, and I also use the 65/9 for embroidery. The 65/9 is for fine embroidery, for small fonts, for areas of a design and an embroidery that is very, very fine. Okay. And you use that with a 60 weight thread. So not only do you need to know your needles, you need to know your threads as well. Okay. Because you know that there's two types of weights when it comes to embroidery. And sometimes there's additional weights too, because it depends how thin you need that thread to be. I usually use a 40 weight thread for normal embroidery. When I need to do small fonts and everything, I use a 60 weight thread. Okay. So, it's very important that you know what to use when, and that's all going to come with experience. So if you're new and you're watching me right now, you're probably freaking out and you're probably going, oh, that's a lot of information. Trust me. As you start to embroider, when you first start, you're going to be using a 7511. Then once you get comfortable, then you're going to start learning more about the different types of stabilizers. Then when you get comfortable with that, then you're going to say, okay, now I want to embroider a small font or something like that. And that's when you start learning about the 65/9 needle with the 60 weight thread. And you may even explore and say, I'm going to do the same design with 60 weight, and then I'm going to do it 40, and then do a comparison, because I've done that. And that's how I know that, oh my God, the 60 weight looks so much clearer. It's readable, and you want quality. Okay. So you're going to slowly learn all this stuff as time goes on. Okay. This is not going to come out from the sky and hit you in the face in one day. This is something that you're going to learn as you are progressing. Okay. And there's different types of embroidery too. Okay. So that's another thing that you're going to learn. So it looks like a lot, which is why I say a lot of people, they buy these machines and then they take it out of the box, they put it on the table, they stare at it because they're like, this is a lot. Yes, it is a lot. It is a lot. But you know what? You got to start somewhere. So you spent the money, turn that machine on, and start your journey. And it's okay. It's going to be fine. Trust me. Okay. The other thing, which is number 5, and I did not do this personally, but someone mentioned this to me, and I said, you know what? That is a really neat idea. I really wish I did that. It's to keep a stitching journal. Now, one of the things that I do is I have a little mini notebook. Okay. Now, what I use this for, and it's just a little composition book. You could get these in the dollar store. Okay. And what I do in here is it's my journey, my journal for when the machine has hiccups. The reason why I do that is because when I have the person that comes in to repair my machines, what I do is I hand him that book. And what it does is it tells him if I got a sensor wiper error or something unusual happened with a particular machine and a particular needle. I put down the date and the time, what was I working on? What was I doing? What type of fabric, what type of thread I was using? What speed was it going on? I write all those details down, and I like to write down so that way I have an idea of when the issue started and, what was I doing at the time? Because when you have somebody come to run the maintenance on your machine, you want to be able to have that information for them, because that way they can look at it when they do the service maintenance. If I'm getting a lot of wiper errors, I could be having an issue with my sensor. So that way he knows that when he looks at my machine, he could say, okay, maybe her sensor is bad. Maybe I need to replace her sensor. So he can look at that in detail, and then I can get everything resolved right there. So that is something that I do. I do journal the errors that I get on all of my machines. So that way I have a history, because I get my machine serviced on an annual basis. Okay. So I'm not going to remember when he comes to fix my machines. I'm not going to remember say, hey, I got a wiper error 4 months ago on this day when I was working on this fabric and this thread. This was the speed it was going on. I'm not going to remember all that. That's why I have that little book. So when stuff like that happens, I jot it down. So that's my little history. And then when he comes and says, hey, so how are your machines running? How, any issues, any problems? All I have to do is pop out that book, and I have the whole history since the last time he serviced my machines. And I could say, this is the issue that I had with machine number 1. This is what I had with machine number 2, machine number 3. And then I can make sure that not only do I get good maintenance on my machine, but I can make sure that everything is thoroughly looked at, so that way I don't have continuous problems. And if there's any issues, like maybe I need a threader to be replaced or a sensor to be replaced, it can be done right then and there. And everything got issued all, resolved in one shot. So, keeping a stitching journal is really, really good for problems like I do. Sometimes people have their own interpretation of what a stitching journal is. It could be a little history of the different types of stitchings that you have tried. Maybe you did a design and you used a particular tearaway. It didn't work, or it did work. You may want to write that down, so that way you have an idea of what you tried and what you didn't try. So, keep your journal. It's a really good idea, because you don't want to make the same mistake twice, and you want to learn from it too. You can actually put down what you worked on, how you worked on it, what type of materials you used, what worked, what didn't work, why do you feel it didn't work, and stuff. And not only that, you can look back at it. And if you are new, right, one of the things that I think is great about doing a stitching journal is you can actually look back at it and you can see how much knowledge you have actually obtained since you started this journey. You could be like, wow, I just started here with these just designs with 2 colors, and now I'm doing designs with 9, 8, 10 colors, color changes. And I used to start with real simple designs. Now I'm doing appliques, I'm doing end hoops, I'm doing quilting in the machine and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You could actually see where your knowledge has started and then where you are now. So it's really a fun way to see how you have really grown and stuff. So I think that was a great idea. The stitching journal, unfortunately, like I have, is really for the machines and their services and stuff like that. I wish I had done that in the things that I've learned. Okay, so but I thought that was actually really, really cool. All right, number 6, I'm going to move on along. Invest in software, whether you like it or not. Okay, if you are doing embroidery, you're going to have to invest in some type of software. I know a lot of people don't like hearing it, and I know why. Okay, the reason is because, more money. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you, if you took this journey, it's not for those that are really light in the pocketbook. It's very expensive. Okay. A lot of times people have the misperception that they think the machine was the highest expense. That's not true. Okay. You're going to be spending a lot of money on stabilizers, on blanks, on thread, on designs, embroidery designs, and digitizing and all that stuff. All of that's going to cost money. So, Just know this, okay? Know it up front. And knowing that, one of the things that I always say, which people always go, that's not true, and then they find out later on it is not a lot of people do machine embroidery, okay? For several reasons. And the first reason is the cost, okay? A lot of people, they shy away from this because when they first see how much some of these machines cost, they run. They run like hell. Okay. They're like, oh my God, that's expensive. Could have bought a car. Absolutely. Yes, you could have. And then when they start seeing how much it costs to maintain them, how much it costs for all the supplies and everything like that, it can be a lot of expense. So you're not going to see a lot of people that really do machine embroidery. It's very, very small. It looks big, probably because we're all here and we all do it. So we feel that everyone's doing it, but if you really step back and you look, you're gonna find out not too many people do this. And knowing that, okay, whether you like it or not, and I always say that your intention may be to start this as a hobby, okay, but eventually it may turn into a business for you, because when people find out that you do machine embroidery and you're very good at it, they're going to start hitting you up for some work. Okay. They are actually going to hit it up for some work. Now, the decision of whether you go into a business or not, that's going to fall on you, whether you want to be generous and just go ahead and give away your time and your materials for free. I know I'm not, because the thing is, I look at it like stabilizers cost money, thread costs money, that machine costs money, my electricity costs money. So I love my friends. Trust me, love my friends and my family. But the thing is, you can go broke. Okay. You really can. So to me, I use the business as a way to help defer the costs of this hobby. Okay. So, and to also help me so that I can get better machines. I can buy quality thread and all that kind of stuff. So just something to think about, if this is something that you want to do and you just want to do it for fun, just keep it in your back of your mind that people may hit you up later on as you start to build that skill set and really do well. Because you may not want to do this for free for everybody. You may want to do it for maybe a couple of people and do it for gifts and all that kind of stuff. But when you have people that all of a sudden, they didn't talk to you yesterday, but they're your friend today, next thing you know, they want you to do that blanket or they want you to do something, you may want to think different. Okay, so just something that, just wanted to mention. Okay, but investing in software, a must. There are going to be times that sometimes you will buy a design and you may have to make little small modifications to it, or you may want to take a design and add some wording to it, or look at it in different colors and all that kind of stuff. Now, the machines today, you can bring up the design and they do have their screens and you can look at it there and stuff like that. But the thing is, the machine can only do so much. Like it or not, you're gonna have to somehow, in your journey, you're gonna have to invest in embroidery software, because that is where you're going to be able to make the changes to designs and add wording and make, do different things that most likely you're not going to be able to do on your machine. So, if you really want to do, embroidery, take the time to invest in the software. There are several options out there. I don't tell people what to buy. One of the things that I do tell you, though, about embroidery software is it can get kind of pricey. So look out at the different types of software that is out there and make sure that whatever you decide to invest in, because embroidery software is another investment, just like buying a machine, you want to make sure that it's something that you're comfortable with, you understand, and you know how to work. Okay, because if you don't take the time to do that, then what's going to happen is you're going to do the same thing like the machine that you bought. Okay, if you bought a machine that is like so complicated, you don't even understand it, you didn't take a test drive of it and stuff like that, you're going to be staring at the machine. Well, guess what? You're going to be staring at embroidery software too. And one thing for sure, you're not going to be real happy with yourself, because you not only did you spend money on an embroidery machine, now you spent money on embroidery software as well. So Take your time. Like you took your time to buy that machine, you got to take your time to research and buy the software. Like it or not, you are going to need it. You really, really, truly are. Okay. The other thing, number 7, God, do I see this so much? It's like, oh my God. And then people are like, ooh, before you embroider on blanks, especially blanks that people have brought to you as orders, make sure that you have tested out the design or practiced, especially if you are new. Okay. The last thing you want is to take an item from someone and you think you're going to be able to embroider on it and stuff, and then all of a sudden the machine hiccuped. Maybe you didn't hoop it right or something like that. Or maybe the design wasn't even digitized correctly. And then next thing you know, you just messed up their blanks. You know what's going to happen? They're not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy. And you may not even want to embroider anymore. So don't do that. Don't just take items and say, I don't need to test the design. I'm just going to go ahead and embroider on it. Sometimes you might get lucky and it comes out great and looks fabulous and stuff. And then other times it's going to be like, oh, what did I do? Okay. So I see it all the time from people where they had embroidered on a blank, came out bad. And then I tell them, oh my God, well, let me see your test stitch. And I don't have one. And I'm like, you didn't test it? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Bet you if you test it, you would have knew by then before. So it's like, what are you going to do? So you're going to have to run to the store. You're going to have to replace the blank or something like that. Or even if it's a blank that you bought yourself as a gift for someone, you go and you embroider, you're going to be pissed because you're going to be like, I just bought this. I just spent $20 on this blanket and I didn't test the design and now it's so screwed up, Especially if you buy brand new embroideries designs, guys. Never take for granted. Seriously, don't ever take for granted, even if it's a vendor that you have purchased from before in the past, because I've done it, okay? I have my favorite vendors that I go out and I buy their designs all the time. And there have been times when never had a problem with their design, buy a new one, I test it out, and then I'm like, ooh, there's a jump stitch right there. Should that be there? And what I'll do is I'll go into my embroidery software and I'll modify it to remove that jump stitch that was there, or maybe it was misaligned, or maybe it just didn't, embroider the way I thought it was going to. And then before you know it, I have to email the digitizer and I say, hey, I just bought your file. And I want to send you a picture as to how it's stitched out. And I tell them the stabilizer that I use, the type of fabric and everything. And then they tell me, oh my God, I'm sorry. That was, let me send you a corrected file. And then they go and they email me and they send me a brand new file. And it's because the one that they posted up there was a bad one or something, or maybe they tell me, oh, well, yeah, that jump stick should have been removed or something. You know what I'm saying? That has happened. Okay. It doesn't happen often, but it has happened. I think it's happened to me about like 2 or 3 times, so don't take for granted that when you buy an embroidery file from a site and you download it and you load it onto your machine, that it's going to come out perfect. It doesn't happen like that all the time. Sometimes what ends up happening is that you could end up getting a bad file, and next thing you know, you're screwed. So you don't want to mess that up. So if you have a new design, okay, test it at least once after you've purchased it, just to make sure that it stitches out well. Okay. And sometimes you could buy a design and you think that you can embroider that design at top speed. And in actuality, you should be slowing down your machine. So there's so many things, that you want to double check before you actually take the product, hoop it, and put it in the machine. You want to make sure that you know what you're doing. Okay. So, and that's another thing too. If you're running a business and you mess up somebody's blanks, That's pretty bad. Okay, so you want to make sure your customers are happy because, like I said, they could talk. They won't remember the 500 items that you embroidered that were perfect. They're always going to remember that one item you screwed up, that one T-shirt that just didn't make it. Okay, that they'll remember, but they'll forget about the other 500. Okay, so that's something that you just want to keep in mind. Okay. Number 8, join a community. Support is so important. Embroidery can be very difficult if you do it alone. Okay, it really can. All right. Now, are you going to have like 100 people sitting with you in the room while you're at that machine? No. But there are lots of Facebook groups out there. There are a lot of sewing shops, just like Susie's Quilt Shop in Manassas, that have embroidery clubs. Join them. Join them. Go on YouTube, just like you're doing now. Look at the different types of folks out there that are doing embroidery. They also provide advice. Okay, watch them, learn from them. Some people you'll even watch, like in some of my videos, you'll see I sometimes do embroidery and it doesn't come out right. I'll let you guys know. Okay, that didn't work. Don't do this, ladies and gentlemen, because this isn't going to work. So make sure that you join a community. Don't feel that you are in this journey alone. You're not. You really aren't. Embroidery can be so much fun and so creative and stuff. I mean, oh my God, if you can do this, you would be the hit every Christmas and birthdays, holidays. Your gifts are the ones everybody's going to want because they are unique, they're personalized. I mean, it's like nobody can beat it. Okay. So, join a community. Communities share a lot of information, a lot of different tips and tricks that they do. There is more than one way to skin a cat. Okay. So many different ways to do things. You may do things one way, I could do it another. They both work great, but it's so great to learn about the different alternatives. You could learn about the different types of applique, the in the hoops, the the appliques, the in the hoops, the I think it's red work embroidery, mylar embroidery, dense embroidery, the different types of wordings and everything. And some of the YouTubers have joint communities. Okay, like Shirley Threadworks. Miss Shirley, she has a channel where you could join. Sometimes I join them on Wednesdays and stuff to say hi to them and everything. And they work as a group of ladies. They pick a project and they work on it together. Join those type of groups. They're lots of fun. My sister, she has a member to her channel, Gifts HQ. She does more sewing and quilting, but she does embroidery too. So and usually what she does is she meets with a group of folks and they work on projects together. Those are a lot of fun. You get to meet people. There's no pressure. And what I really liked when I met with Miss Shirley's group is that the ladies will be working on their projects. If they get stuck, they just go and say, hey, I got stuck. This is what's happening. And you see everybody in the group coming out and say, try this, try that, and stuff like that. You get all these recommendations. So it's really a great place for you to really grow your knowledge and your skill set and stuff. It's a really great. You'd be surprised how willing a lot of other creators are willing to help others. I mean, you really would be surprised. I don't think that in any other profession that I've been around that I see so much of the teamwork and the collaboration that takes place in a crafters community. I was talking to my girlfriend Erica, who she does proxy cups, and she joins a lot of communities of the ladies that love making the tumblers like these. Okay. And they talk about, the different types of methods and everything, and they share information and stuff. And you would be amazed. And she just loves it. She loves it because she says you feel so at home. You're not afraid to ask questions. People are so willing to help you. So I feel the same way about the embroidery community. I mean, it is really a great place for you to meet people and really enjoy what you're doing and learning, especially if you're a beginner. So I highly recommend that. Don't be shy. Do it. You really would be amazed. Okay. And if you're in the Northern Virginia area, visit Susie's Quilt Shop and stuff, because we're going to have the embroidery club every third Wednesday. Now I keep saying Wednesday. Every third Saturday. Okay, it's every third Saturday of every month. That's when we're going to meet. So we're going to be meeting on the 16th in August and stuff. And it's going to be, really an introductory, and we're just going to talk about, what are we going to explore and stuff. So that is really, really a great place for you to get the support that you need so that you can really grow your skill set. Okay. The ninth one is don't let the mistakes discourage you. Everybody makes the mistakes. Okay. Even people that have been embroidering for 25 years plus. I have a good friend, Liliana. She has a company in Brookprint now. She does embroidery for a lot of schools, colleges, companies. She has embroidered for NBC. She does a lot of sports and everything. She has contracts with a lot of big vendors, and she herself, once in a while, makes a mistake. Okay, we're humans. You're human. You're gonna make a boo boo every once in a while. So what? It's like Susie told me once. It's fabric. Buy more fabric. Well, it does hurt a little bit when you're working on someone else's blank and it messed up. I did it. Okay. I lost $2,000. Okay. I got a video in my channel that how I lost $2,000 because I was embroidering on a very expensive backpacks and I messed up 12 of them. The logo came out crooked. I guess I was tired, and when I hooped them, I didn't hoop them correctly. But I ended up taking that and turning that negative experience into a positive. I just embroidered patches. I sold them over there, and then I donated the bags. So to me, I looked at it as it may have been kind of a loss for me, but it became a win for a lot of kids that couldn't afford backpacks. Now they ended up with very expensive backpacks with a great positive saying on their backpack. So, you're going to make mistakes. It's just going to happen. It's human nature. Don't be afraid of them. Learn from them. Don't let it discourage you. Another thing I highly recommend also is don't just learn from your mistakes. Learn from other people's mistakes as well. Okay. One of the things that I do, and, I do this often, is I like to look at other embroidery shops on Etsy, and I like to look at their reviews. I focus on the bad reviews that they receive. And the reason why I do that is because I want to know where they faltered. Where did they went wrong? What was it that the customer was pissed off about? Did they not think that they received a very good product? Was it that it was poor embroidery? Was it that the item wasn't shipped in time? Was it that the item looked different than what was advertised in their shop? Learn from people's mistakes. Those are really the best mistakes to learn from because they don't cost you anything. Unfortunately, it cost the person that made the mistake pain, some pain and heartache, but you could learn from it as well. Okay. It can help you. You could be like, oh, okay. So now I know I need to make sure that I pay attention to my shipping, that I ship my items online. Oh, okay. Now I know that whatever photos I put on Etsy, which a lot of people, what they do is they do a lot of markup photos. I understand that people do that because they don't want to take the time to actually take a real photo of the actual product. And I got that. But the thing is, you got to be careful when you do that because sometimes your markup doesn't really match how it really looks. Okay. If it does, you ain't got no issues. You're good. But if it doesn't, okay, you might have an issue because what that person is purchasing and what they receive, or that what they think they're going to purchase and what they receive are two different things. That can be an issue. And then so you know, don't be surprised if they come back and say this didn't look like the picture, because I've gotten a lot of reviews on my channel where they say exactly as described, exactly as the picture. And that's what you want. You want the person to know that what exactly they are getting. Okay. So you don't let mistakes discourage you. Let them make you stronger, smarter, better. And at the same time, while you are learning from your own mistakes, take the opportunity to learn the mistakes of others as well. Okay. Because that is really what's going to also help you to get better as well. Okay. Not just your own mistakes, but others. The last one, number 10. Okay. Embroidery is a process. Learning how to embroider and embroider very, very well is a process. It's a learning process, okay? It doesn't happen really quickly. A lot of people get impatient. They don't want to spend the time, but this is what I tell you is you have to. If you look at anything in life, like let's talk about basketball players and stuff like that, okay? Some of the greats are great because they practice, they practice, they practice, they practice, they practice, they work, they work, they work, they work, they work. It took time, dedication. They kept going, okay? They didn't care how many times they missed the ball. They didn't care how many times they fumbled or anything like that. You got to be the same thing with embroidery. You got to keep practicing and practicing and practicing. It's a process. It's going to take time. If you think you're going to learn everything in one day, you're wrong. That's not going to happen. Didn't happen for me. It's not going to happen. I don't think it happened for anybody. Okay. And if somebody was to tell me that they learned everything in a day, I'll probably be like, yeah, right. Okay. Tell the story to somebody else, because you ain't going to sell that land to me. Okay. Because I know you didn't. Okay. Nobody is born with the knowledge. Everybody just takes time to learn, and everyone's pace is different. Okay, that's another thing. Keep that in mind. Just because somebody learned it real quick, that doesn't mean you have to. So what's really important is that you take the time to learn it, take the time to understand it. Okay, like I said, know what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you should do it, and you should be fine. And don't rush it. Okay, because then what ends up happening is it becomes unenjoyable to you. You're going to be like, I don't like doing this anymore. You want to love what you're doing. You spent a lot. You're investing your time. You've already invested your money in this. You bought a machine. You bought all the threads. You bought all the stabilizer. Now all you have to do is sit back, learn it, enjoy it all, especially the mistakes. Make a mistake, so what? You'll get it. You'll get it. And I don't know if you're new, you may want to go back a little bit, but there was a time when I had a customer that needed me to embroider a champion dog logo. It took 2 digitizers and 9 test stitches for me to get that logo perfect. Okay? It took a while, a long time. Okay. A lot of people would have came out and gave up and told the customer, I can't do it. I was determined. The digitizers were determined. We were going to get this sucker right. And it happened. Okay. It happened. And after I got that logo done correctly, okay, it was just fabulous. Okay. I ended up embroidering so many shirts and sweatshirts and polo shirts and jackets and blankets, and you have no idea. So it's like, don't don't feel you have to learn it all in a day. We all have our own pace, and just enjoy the process. Okay, because you have no idea, as frustrating as it was, because it was a little frustrating, because every time I embroidered that dog, it was like 50 minutes to embroider that design. Okay, 50 minutes. And the the whole dog was being embroidered, and the last part was the head of the dog. And that was where we were having problems with the snout. And when after waiting 50 minutes of the machine stitching and all that thread, and then when the head would start to embroider, and I noticed that there was a problem with it, I had to immediately stop the machine, and it was like start all over again and keep going and keep going. But you have no idea how proud and good I felt after the 9th try. Okay. And it was perfect. It was like, wow, we did it. We did it. We got it. And the customer was happy, and it was awesome. So it was like a big I don't know, like a big win, you know? And you want that feeling, you know, and you can have that feeling. But the thing is, you're not going to get it if you quit. Okay? So, and you're not going to get it if you feel like you got to rush. What's the race? Where are we going? That's what I tell people. Are we dying tomorrow? You know, it's stuff. I mean, I know we're all going to die, but I mean, I don't know. I thought I was going to live tomorrow, you know, like what's the rush? So why are we rushing? You know what I'm saying? Don't rush. Enjoy the process and just really, really enjoy it and learn, because that is really how you're going to be successful. Okay. So those are really my 10 tips for the new folks out there. Okay. Of machine embroidery, you know, enjoy it, have fun. And really, to me, out of all these tips, the most important one is to really join a community, okay, that is going to be supportive. Because when you have a bunch of people around you with that positive energy that doesn't mind taking the time to explain things to you and teach you and all that kind of stuff, there is no way you're going to fail. They're not going to let you fail. They don't want you to fail, because if you fail, they fail, you know? So it's really a wonderful thing when you have a community around you that really supports you and helps you build and learn what you're doing. So guys, those are the top 10 machine embroidery tips for beginners I have for you today. It is 9 o'clock. So for those of you guys that are new, I usually like to the first hour, I like to cover the topic of the week, which was the top 10 machine embroidery for tips for beginners. And then for the rest of the evening, I always like to go down the chat and say hi to everybody, see how everyone is doing, and answer any questions that you guys may have and stuff. So I am going to scroll all the way to the top. I want to say hi to everybody, see how everybody's doing. I see Linda is here. Hey, Linda, how you doing? I see Renee. How are you? I see Debbie. And Cynthia, how are you doing? Hey, Miss Shirley, how are you? Thank you. It feels good to be back. Hey, Jenny, how are you as well? Happy Friday. And I see Iris. Hey, Iris, how are you? Yes, me and Mello are doing fine. And let's see, let me go down. Bernardino, how are you doing? Hello. Hey Joe, how are you? Good evening. And I see, Robin, did I say hi? No, don't think I saw you before. Hey, how are you? From Maryland. You're my neighbor. Hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed it very much. Oh my God, I thought Michael Jackson came back. That's how I thought. I'm telling you, boy, they were very, very, very good. And the person that played Michael Jackson, he looked a lot like him. That they did a very good makeup job on him, and he was really good on all the dance steps. I'm telling you, my favorite, I will tell you guys, was when they did Thriller. Oh my God, when they did Thriller and they had all the lights and everything, the costumes were great. I loved it. I really loved it. Had a great time. I really did. Loved it. Oh my God. And hey, Nancy, how are you? I cannot wait to see her when she comes in September. I'm hoping that I have everything done before she comes, because I want to see her in my room. And I really want to see what her review is going to be on it. So, Nancy, I'm going to put you to work, okay? I am going to put you to work when you get here in September. Hey, Letitia, how are you doing? How are you? Um, let's see. Hey, Evelyn, how are you doing, hon? How are you? Hey, Emma, how are you? Eartha, how you doing? Hey, Gail, how are you doing? Let's see. Caparina, hi, how are you? Hey, Beth, how you doing? I see Becky here. How are you? Angela and Stitches is in the house. How are you doing? Hey, Jacqueline, how you doing? I see Joyce Adams. How are you? Hey, Miss Miller, how you doing? Eleanor, how are you doing? Hi. Hey, McFake, how are you? Let's see. Oh, congratulations. I am sure it'll be great and have a lot of fun. Yes, I am very, very excited. Thanks, Jess. I am really excited. I'm gonna be teaching. Oh my God. I never thought, well, I always teach on the YouTube channel, but now I'm gonna be teaching live in person in a classroom. So that's gonna be like, wow. Okay, so I will tell you that I am a little nervous about it, but I'm just gonna be me, I'm just gonna be me. Hopefully, it'll be fine, and I'm sure it will be. I plan on having a lot of fun in helping Susie develop this embroidery club for her shop. I think that's going to be really cool. I want to try so many different things. I probably have, I was telling Susie, maybe we could have a month where people can bring in their embroidery projects, or we could work on a project together, talk about different stabilizers and brands of threads, and do a show and tell, and in the hoop projects. I just want to do so much. And not only that, it's like, I feel like, when you have people that have the interest, like I was talking about earlier, they can learn from me, I can learn from them. There's just so many ways to do it. So I am super excited, Joyce. Super, super excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Nervous and excited. So I think it's going to be so much fun. Let's see. Eartha says, oh, I attend an embroidery club once a month in Louisiana. Oh, Earth, I bet you it's so cool. I bet you it's so cool. Yep. Hey, Marlene, how you doing? How are you? Oh, yes. So Miss Adams finally got her a gift from Eleanor. I'm so glad. And guys, I don't know if I said this before. I think I did, but I just really want to say it again. Thank you so much for all of you guys that participated in the Christmas in July gift exchange. The you know the videos out there to see if you guys want to watch. Everybody was so creative and made so many great gifts, and everybody received their gift, and I was just so happy. I think it was such a success, and I really want to say thank you to all the guys that, everyone that participated. I thought that was so much fun, and I'm so happy, that everybody had a good time. This has been like this was the second time that I did Christmas in July. I have been hosting Christmas, gift exchange during the holiday season. This will be my fourth time doing it. And people always seem to love it. It's a nervous wreck for me because I always want to make sure everybody gets their gift, right? So, I do get a little frantic and I start emailing everybody. Did you mail it out? Did you mail it out? Did you get it? Whatever. Do you know who you're assigned to? So I know I can drive some of the Esters a little crazy, but it's because I really, really want everyone to enjoy the exchange. I want not only everybody to experience creating a gift for someone, but also receiving one as well. So it came out, it was really, really awesome. And I really just once again want to say thank you so much for participating, because I think that was a success. And I would say it's just, it's great to make another person smile. And everybody just loved their gifts and everything. It was just great. I really loved it. Let's see, going down here. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Good evening. Oh, and Marlene said she went to a 20th celebration of Laura's sewing and quilting. So it was so much fun. Oh, I wonder what you got, Marlene. What did you get? What did you buy? And Nancy said it would be great to teach and inspire more people. It is. Yes, I'm really excited and stuff. And Nancy, I'm going to be handing out those CDs of yours, which, by the way, I'm going to have to. I think what I'm going to do is I have Nancy, my sister's CD. For you guys that don't know, this is her channel, Gifts HQ. And I also want to say congratulations to my sister because she hit 10,000 subscribers. She's been working so hard on her channel, and she's been doing such a good. You have no idea how proud I am of her and her husband. I mean, they took it to a whole other level. It's like watching the Today Show. I love it. I really, truly love it. So if you guys have not seen her channel, her show, she does Crafters Morning Show, and it's every day, Monday through Friday at 8:00 in the morning. And it's wonderful. She does projects and everything. She gives tips and all that. It's a lot of fun. And she's worked so hard on that channel. She really has, her and her husband. And they finally got 10,000 subscribers. So I am like so super proud of my sister. Okay. So, and she also has 2 albums. And I don't think I have one with me here. Oh yeah, I do. I actually do. This one I believe is volume 2. I got volume 1 in the car, in my car. So she does crafting music. Okay, so if you go to her channel, you'll be able to read it. She also has a website, giftshq.com, and these are songs that her and her husband have written, and they're like so super awesome. And volume 1 is in my car. I got to get volume 2 in there so that I can listen to it. I'm addicted to volume 1. I ain't gonna lie. Volume 1 is my favorite. Okay, this one's good too, but I guess it's because it's her first, so it'll always be my favorite. But my plan is that when the embroidery club is meeting at Susie's Quilt Shop, I want to play her music. I really do. I want to play that music because it's just going to set the tone. It really is. I'm just going to set it. So, yeah, but I am super excited about my new mini job, which is the running the embroidery club, which is cool. And I'm just volunteering. I'm volunteering. It's no, and just know it's free. It's a club. It's just a club for you to come join. It's free. It's not, she's not charging people for it. We are discussing maybe charging for some classes, but not the club. When you go on Saturdays, those are free and stuff like that. So maybe later on we'll do it. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Deborah, how you doing? That's true, Nancy. Today at the event we attended, one of the ladies has been Laura David for 30 years. Oh, I guess, yeah. Oh, okay. One of the things she says, kids need to be involved in learning the crafts. Well, young people are really starting to get into a lot of these crafts. I've noticed that. They are really gravitating to, especially the business side of creativity. I see a lot of young people that are selling their own fashion. They're creating their own shirts, their own pants, everything. So, things are really shifting. They really are. The days of going to Macy's and everybody's wearing the same shirt, I think that's kind of over now. I don't think you're going to see too much of that. Go to a party and the girl's going to be wearing the same dress as you. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, and then everybody's talking about who wears it better, So, let's see. Hey, Miss Holmes, how are you, Joanna? How you doing? Hey, Cecilia, how you doing? You are awesome, and you're the one that got me started. Everything you're saying is on point. You have saved many times in learning something. Yes. Cecilia, thanks. I'm so glad that you're enjoying the embroidery journey and stuff. And let me tell you, I am now going to the quilting journey myself. I had a customer, I did a video on the channel, and I had a customer that created a quilt for her daughter that was going away to college. And one of the things she wanted me to do was embroider a corner of the quilt, a little dedication to her daughter, from Love Mom, right? I thought that was so touching, right? Because I was like, oh my God, because her daughter was going away to college and she wanted to give that blanket to her. And I thought that was so touching. And I said, oh my God. So I was like, she just did the squares, the little squares, and it looks like a simple quilt. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a quilt myself. So I went on. Sorry, Mello. Mello's over here lying. I don't want him to think I'm going to hit him. So I went to Missouri Star because, Joanne's not around anymore. And what I did was I bought a whole bunch of charm packs. Okay. And I got these from Missouri Star. And I actually bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 charm packs because I was thinking I could make a full size quilt, something like that. And I really loved the design, the colors. Let me see if I can show you real quick. The designs on this one, I thought these were really pretty. And I was like, okay, now that I'm going to have my sewing room done with the new furniture and everything like that, I want to create a quilt. And I thought I would give this to a family member, if it comes out okay. I think it will. I mean, I'm kind of telling myself, well, how hard can it be, Jeanette? You just put squares together. We'll see if I can make it. Okay. So anyway, so I figured I'm going to make a quilt. And then what I want to do is I want to write a little dedication on it. I was thinking also of making one for my son. Now, of course, I'm going to have to pick different ones because I don't think he's gonna, he's a boy, he's not gonna want to wear flowers, you know how it is. So I'm probably gonna have to do something maybe like on the plaid side, or pick a design that be more for the boys. And I want to make him one, but I figured let me try to make a quilt. And then I picked this fabric for the backing, and I got it from Missouri Star because I know that the quality of their quilts, their fabrics are really, really good. I didn't want a cheap, cheesy type of fabric, so I got that. And then for the binding, I bought bias tape, but I got a feeling that I'll ask my sister when she comes because she's actually the quilting expert. I don't know if this binding is going to work, but I ended up buying a whole bunch of it. But I figured, okay, if I can't use this for the quilt, then maybe what I'll do is I'll do placemats for myself, and then I'll use the binding for the placemats for summer or something. I'll find a use for them. But I thought I'll use this color for the binding, okay? And then I figured this would look cute, for the back. And then I really did like this charm pack. And this is the charm pack that's by Dear Stella. And the name of this one, it's Secret Garden. That's the one that I got. The one that's Secret Garden. I got it from Missouri Star. So, and I will tell you, just feeling the fabric, it is really good quality and stuff. So I'm pretty excited about trying this. Okay. And see, and I don't know if I overdid it because I'm reading this and it says it has 42 squares in here. So I got 5 packs of this. So maybe I kind of overdid it, And if I did, then I'll probably, I'll have to ask Nancy. But if I did, then maybe I could make a blanket and then use the others to make maybe a tote bag or something like that, So I figured out I can do that and stuff maybe. We'll see. And then how many yards of this? I got 3 yards of the backing. That's what I did. I did 3 yards of this. And so I really like this fabric. It's cute. So yeah. So got that going on over here. So yeah, I didn't start it yet because I'm waiting for my sewing room to be complete. And then I figured then I could start piecing it and stuff. And then I want to make myself a design board. I started looking because Nancy did a video on how to create your own design board on how to, when you're quilting. So I want to do that. I want to create one so I can have it in the sewing room so that when I put my quilt together, I'll know exactly like the sequence that I want the boxes to be, because you don't want two of the same to be next to each other, So I'm going to lay it out and stuff like that. So I am pretty excited about that. So yeah, I have a couple of things that I do want to try and stuff. And then I figured too, since I'm doing the embroidery club, as I'm quilting this, I can ask people advice over there on quilting as well. So I'm pretty super excited about all that stuff. Let's see. I've heard people say they leave their embroidery machine stitching overnight. I think that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, is that sometimes what happens, there have been times when I can turn on the machine and it embroiders flawlessly. I'll admit, and I don't even have to intervene. Okay, I sit by it and I just listen, and everything goes fine. But there are times where things can happen, right? You can run out of thread, or you can run out of bobbin thread. Sometimes you have a bird's nest or a needle breaks. You never know. So my whole thing is, if you don't really watch it, like, think about it. They said they left it overnight, right? So, okay, so they went to sleep. They woke up in the morning thinking they were going to have a product already completed. First of all, two things that bother me about that. The first thing is, if everything works great and it's done, that embroidery project is sitting on that machine. Chances are you're probably sleeping 8 hours. You got that machine pulling electricity all that time because the machine didn't shut off. It just stopped embroidering. Same time too, that item, the fabric is hooped all that time. I don't know. I always like to unhoop my stuff. I use mighty hoops so I don't get any hooping burn. But the thing is, you don't want to take a chance. If you use like the old-fashioned embroidery hoops, sometimes what can happen is the fabric can take the form of the hoop, right? And then next thing you know, you got to really straighten it out or iron it and stuff like that. I don't want to chance that, because you don't want to get hoop burn or something like that. And to me, it's just you leaving that machine on, right? So if you think about it, you're really increasing the wear and tear on that machine, because it's just sitting there, right? That's what I don't like about that. I mean, hey, if it works for them, okay. Me personally, I'm not doing that. If I cannot finish the machine before I go to bed, can't finish the project before I go to bed, I don't even turn it on. That means that I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to start the project. Like, I got some Etsy orders that came in this evening. After this, I'm just going to go to bed. I'm going to wake up in the morning. I will turn on the machines. I will do the embroidery, finish it, package it up. Post office is open till 12. I'll just make sure I make it to the post office by 12, and then I'll deliver it myself. I'm not going to rush it or anything like that. I usually like to embroider my stuff when people buy it. I like to embroider it and ship it next day. A lot of times my processing times are, really a little long, but I always like to do it as quickly as an order comes in. As my orders come in, I like to process them and ship them out. And one of the things that's really cool about my reviews is I like to have that processing time as a buffer, because sometimes if you have other things going on, you don't have to, you have that extra day or two. But if I can just do it now and put it in there, the customer is going to be super happy, because they're going to get their product super fast, because in their mind, they're thinking, okay, I order it today, it's not going to be processed for another week. But then if they ordered it today and I go and I mail it out the next day or the day after that, then they're in their mind, they're thinking it's not even processed yet, and then before you know it, they go to the mailbox, is done. So it's like I get very good reviews for that, super fast shipping and all that kind of stuff and everything. So, but I'm not comfortable with leaving a machine overnight. And I could just see right now some people kind of feel the same way, because Marlene's like, that's kind of crazy. And Robin is even saying, I can't imagine doing that. So I don't either, because I could just see the electric bill just go, it's just, no. And Angela says, I don't leave my embroidery designs left in the hoop. I remove them as soon as I can. And I do the same thing. I do the exact same thing, Angela, and Stitches. I believe that, because the thing is, you're stressing the fabric. The fabric is kind of stressed, because you kind of have it. You got to remember, when you're hooping it, you touch it. It's like it's supposed to feel like a drum. So you're stretching the fabric so that it stays straight, so that way it can embroider on it. And then you're leaving it overnight, you could end up with an imprint on that fabric. That's really running a risk, and it's not something that I would recommend. And I never run my machine at top speed. Eartha, I very seldom do. If I have it at top speed, stop. Ugh, tongue tied. Here we go. Top speed. It's usually because it's a very simple design, and I know there's no complications and it'll be fine. And usually it's a small design. I usually always slow down my machine. This is how I feel. I'm in no rush. There is no reason for me to go ahead and just, take the chance. I like my stuff to really, really, really do well. Hey, Lena, actually enjoy watching the process as the machine is stitching. I love it too. And you know who loves it? My mom. Oh my God. When she visits me and I have the embroidery machine running, she loves to walk in and she stands in front of that and she literally stares at it. She's just like at awe. She loves how that machine, how the hoop just moves and it's just stitching away. And she loves to see the design just come to life. It's like a big high for her. She just loves that. She really does. Angela says, I keep a date log as to when I change my needles. Very good idea. Very good idea. Hey, TM, how do you do logos from scratch? I usually have companies that come to me with their logos, and what I do is I work with a digitizer so that they can digitize the logo into a machine embroidery file. That's how I do it. So I don't personally do it. I actually work with digitizers to get that done. Hey, pretty eyes, how are you? How you doing? Hey, baby giant, how are you? Haynes Miller. Oh, my 9-year-old grandsons are watching my 2 10 needle stitches, my 2 10 needle stitching out designs. They're saying I can help you with the next one's ready. Hoop the next design. Everyone is always at grandma's dream. Everybody loves doing that. I mean, everybody always. Oh, thanks for the shot. Oh, Miss Sherry. Oh, no. Thank you for what you do for our community. Thank you. I mean, I love that. I love your sewing group. I really do. You guys are a lot of fun. You guys are really a lot of fun. Let's see. Hey, Annette. I'm extremely late. That's fine. Haven't made a live. It's such a long time. Miss you, Jeanette, so much. Annette, it was great to have you back. It's great to have you back. Look at that. Everybody missed you, even Robin. See? Hey, Pete. We're still going to take the maintenance embroidery class. I sure am. Yes. That is something that, thanks for mentioning that. That is something, you guys, that I am planning on doing. I am saving my pennies because my goal is to be able to, I want to go to Texas. There's a school in Texas, and I want to learn how to maintain and repair embroidery machines. I want to learn how to do that. And the school that I'm going to is like you take the whole machine apart and you rebuild it. So I'm pretty excited. When I save my money and I have it, because I'm going to pay cash, I'm actually going to take that trip out to Texas, stay at a hotel, and I'm going to be going to school. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yes, Pete, that is something that I'm definitely planning on doing. I just got to get all my little coins together because I don't like bills. I really don't. Hey, Bonita. Oh, thank you so much. Don't forget to give the thumbs up for Jeanette. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hey, Christy. Love the tips. Oh, I'm glad you like them. Early. She's on Tuesdays at 7 Central Time. Yes. She is awesome. She is awesome. You guys I just love how you guys work together. I really, really do. That's why I highly recommend you guys. I mean, if you don't know, Shirley's own channel on YouTube and stuff. And if you join her channel, you can attend. What does she do? She does embroidery and sewing. Congratulations, Nancy. I know. I'm so proud of her. So proud of her. Wow. Yay. Amazing sisters. Yes. Oh my God. I'm so proud of it. She works so hard on that channel. I'm telling you. And if you guys have not watched it, please, I recommend, please support her. Mondays at 8 o'clock, Monday through Friday, every day, every morning. I mean, she is really, really, really good. There were 3 prizes, didn't win any. Had about 200 guests. Wow. And clients had their shops. That's awesome. Marlene had a great time. Yes. Oh my God. I have your first CD and love. I'm telling you, her Volume 1 is my favorite. Volume 2 is good too. Okay. Don't get me wrong. This one is really, really good. I like this one as well. But I think Volume 1 will always have that special place in my heart because it was her first. Always her first, you know. Where is Mello? Mello walked out. He was sleeping right behind me, Jenny. He was right behind me and stuff. Mello, where's my Mello? I hear his collar, so I think he's moving. Mello, where are you? Oh, there you go. Papa, they're asking about you. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Look at them. See? You want to say hi? Look at you. You're all messy. You're all messy. So, yeah, this is a golden doodle for those guys who don't know. Mello is a standard golden doodle. He is 85 pounds. And for you guys that don't know the story, let me tell you the story about how Mello came into this family. I kept bothering my husband because I wanted a dog. And he said, okay, fine, you can get a small dog. So I went to the groomer and I asked, do you have any like mini golden doodles, right? And I gotta be honest with you, I don't like, yes, that's right. I'm looking for a mini. I was. But I really wanted a big one. I wanted you, Mello. I picked you. I did. I picked you. So she said we ran out of the minis, but we do have a standard golden doodle. And she sent me Mello's picture. She did. And I fell in love. And I said, I'll take it, right? Didn't tell Fred anything and stuff. So we drove over there, and all the time I was telling him that it was going to be a mini golden doodle and that he wasn't going to be more than 40 pounds. So after month 3, somebody was 40 pounds. That's right, you were. And then at month 4, you were almost at 50 pounds. And Fred kind of broke down and looked at me and said, okay, Jeanette, how big is he going to get? And then I said, oh, well, Mom was 90, Dad was 85. So, but we fell in love with you, so we weren't going to take you back, right? That's right. So Mello's in the family forever. So all 85 pounds of him. So he's his mom was a golden retriever and Dad was a standard poodle. So Now and that's what made Mellow, right, Boo Boo? Yeah, that's what made you. And you have that little curl right there. And he'll be at the groomers next Saturday. So yes, you will. You'll be at the groomers. Yes, you will. That's my boo. That's my little Betty. And my best friend. And I miss him so much. Every time I leave the house, I'm like, oh my God. I keep telling Fred, can you send me a picture of Mello? What's Mello doing? Is he okay? Did you feed him? Did you walk him? That's Mello, right? And then when I come home, he's mad at me because I left them and stuff. So yeah. Let's see. I'm going down and see if anyone has any questions and stuff. Everybody's talking about home economics. Hey Terry, how are you? How you doing? Yep, and here's this Shirley's Thread Work is the name of her channel and stuff. And she does a live stream. Yes, and she does a live stream also on Tuesday night as well. So and she always hits topics and stuff like that. So oh, you're buffering. I thought it was my internet. I thought it was me. Hi, Mel. Okay, everybody got tired. Mel got tired of being ignored. He does. He gets tired of it and stuff. Oh, I have Jack Russells. Oh my goodness. Oh, and yep, Jenny says have 4 large dogs. Love them. They're all over 75. I just love big dogs. I do. I love big dogs. And I don't think a small dog would really fit us because my husband is visually impaired in one eye. So he can only see visually from one eye. So sometimes if you're standing on his left side, he won't see you. So I could just visualize him stepping on a small dog. So with Mello, it's like if he moves kind of close to Mello and stuff, at least Mello makes himself known that he's there, like a little growl or something. But a small dog, I could just see him squash it, and then I would be like, there goes the dog, you know? So I'm kind of like, phew, that sucks, you know? So yeah, but love Mello. That is, as you see, he loves to sit here. I don't know if you guys see. This is his spot right here. And as you notice, as much as I love him, the one thing that kind of drives you a little bit crazy is that when I have a lot of orders, even with the machines running, it's like he'll lay right there. So I'll have to like step over him and stuff like that. And then sometimes I just make him get up and I just say, okay, you can stand by the door and watch or whatever, because the thing is he kind of gets in the way sometimes. So he will not yeah, it's kind of funny because when he lays like that, I think about Snoopy, you know. I was a big Snoopy fan and stuff. So anyway, but yeah. So anyway, guys. So guys, I am going to call it the night. It is 9:30. So I'm going to hit the sack, go to bed, because tomorrow I'm going to wake up early in the morning, try to hit swimming class, go for a swim. And because I'm going right back to the gym now, go swimming. And then after that, come home and start embroidering and everything. And then hit the mill. I'm thinking lately I've been getting up real super early. Usually I used to get up at 3:00 in the morning to go to work. Now I'm starting to get up like around 4 or 5. I'll probably get up, embroider, and then package it up and stuff, go to my swim class, and then after that, then go to the post office and deliver it. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do tomorrow. And then I'm going to have to start working on the rest of the stuff, and I still want to reorganize the sewing room to try to make it more efficient, because I'm trying to think of my business, my process, right? I want it to flow, the furniture, because you got your sewing, your cutting, your ironing, when you're quilting. So I want to make sure that I have it set up so that everything's in a good place for when you do your little routine and stuff like that. So pretty excited. So anyway, guys, I will talk to you guys later. See you next Friday. I will be posting more videos as time goes on. I am going to videotape how I'm going to work on my next customer's orders, which is I'm going to be embroidering aprons with their company logo on it. So I figured that would be something to show you guys how I do that. And I'll make sure that as I process that order tomorrow, I go ahead and I videotape it. So I should have it up on the channel by Sunday. And, keep doing my thing. So I will talk to you guys later. Happy sewing, happy embroidering. You guys have a great week, okay? So take care, and I'll see you guys next Friday. Bye.